Late last summer, a plot of land on the edge of a small farming community in southern Russia began to fill with scores of newly dug graves of fighters killed in Ukraine. The resting places were adorned with simple wooden crosses and brightly colored wreaths that bore the insignia of Russia's Wagner group, a feared and secretive private army. There were around 200 graves at the site on the outskirts of Bakinskaya village in Krasnodar region when Reuters visited in late January. The news agency matched the names of at least 39 of the dead here and at 3 other nearby cemeteries to Russian court records, publicly available databases and social media accounts. Reuters also spoke to family, friends and lawyers of some of the dead. Many of the men buried at Bakinskaya were convicts who were recruited by Wagner last year after its founder, Yevgeny Prigozhin, promised a pardon if prisoners survived 6 months at the front, this reporting showed. They included a contract killer, murderers, career criminals and people with alcohol problems. For months, Wagner has been locked in a bloody battle of attrition to take the towns of Bakhmut and Soledar in Ukraine's eastern Donetsk region. Western and Ukrainian officials have said it is using convicts as cannon fodder to overwhelm Ukraine's defenses. Toughening sanctions on Wagner this month, White House National Security spokesman John Kirby branded the group a criminal organization that is committing widespread atrocities and human rights abuses. In a short open reply to the U.S. government, Prigozhin asked Kirby to please clarify what crime was committed by Wagner. Videos and photographs of the graves first appeared on social media channels in the Krasnodar region in December. Reuters geolocated these images to the Bakinskaya cemetery and reviewed satellite imagery of the site from Maxar Technologies and Capella Space. Satellite pictures show that the Wagner plot was empty in the summer, had 3 rows of graves by the end of November, and was 3/4 full by early January. Virtually the entire plot was used by 24th of January. Local activist Vitaly Vodanovsky, who took the first pictures and has documented soldiers killed in Ukraine and buried in Krasnodar region graveyards, told Reuters he observed a truck delivering bodies to the cemetery. He said gravediggers told him the bodies had come from the Russian city of Rostov-on, close to Russia's border with Donetsk region. When Reuters visited the cemetery in January, fences and security cameras were being installed around the plot and another burial was underway. One of the youngest, buried at the nearby Martinskaya cemetery, is Vadim Pushnia. He was just 25 years old when he died on 19th of November. Pushnia was imprisoned in 2020 for burgling garages, a beer shop and a cement factory in his hometown of Guryachi Kluch, close to the Wagner chapel. The birth date on Pushnia's grave matches the date given on his social media accounts and in court records. The oldest, Vail Nabiev, was serving 1.5 years for burglary in Ivanovo region's penal colony No. 2, 200 miles northeast of Moscow, at least his second such prison spell. He had been convicted in May 2022 by a court in the picturesque tourist town of Suzdal of stealing a string trimmer and a sanding machine valued at a total of 5,500 rubles, $80, from a garage. According to his simple wooden grave marker, emblazoned with an Islamic crescent moon, Nabiev died in October, less than 5 months after being sentenced. He was 60. Since the beginning of Russia's war in Ukraine, the previously secretive Wagner and founder Prigozhin have assumed an increasingly public profile. In the past, Wagner fighters have deployed to Syria, Libya and the Central African Republic in support of Russia's allies. Prigozhin, known in Russia as Putin's chef because of his Kremlin catering contracts, consistently denied any links to Wagner. Then, last September, he confirmed he founded a private army, which he described as a group of patriots. Since then, Prigozhin has repeatedly visited the front lines in eastern Ukraine, while also criticizing Russia's military leadership and some senior officials, and personally spearheading a drive to recruit fighters from Russia's sprawling penal system. According to a regular report published by the Russian Federal Penitentiary Service, Russia's penal colony population decreased by about 8% from 353,210 in August to 324,906 in early November, the largest drop in more than a decade. The report gave no reasons for the sudden, sharp decline, which coincided with the beginning of Wagner's prison recruitment push. The Federal Penitentiary Service did not reply to detailed questions for this article. Last month, Reuters reported that the U.S. intelligence community believes that Wagner had approximately 40,000 prisoner recruits deployed in Ukraine as of December, accounting for the vast majority of Wagner personnel in the country. Wagner has not commented on the figure or provided any information on fighter numbers. In a 14th of January video message, Prigozhin described Wagner as a fully independent force with its own aircraft, tanks, rockets and artillery. "It is probably the most experienced army that exists in the world today," he said. "Their lives bring into bleak focus the realities of Russia's criminal underclass." Wagner founder Prigozhin in December told Russian news site RBC that he is giving convicts an opportunity to redeem themselves. In January, he appeared alongside the first group of fighters to be pardoned, having survived their stints in Ukraine. A few weeks later, he wrote an open letter to the Speaker of Russia's parliament, Vyacheslav Volodin, asking him to criminalize any actions or publications that discredit Wagner fighters, and to outlaw public disclosure of their criminal pasts. He wrote that those who are risking their lives every day and dying for the motherland are being portrayed as second-class people, stripping them of the right to atone for their guilt. Volodin did not reply to Reuters' request for comment. Among the prisoners identified by Reuters was 43-year-old Anatoly Bodankov. He was serving a 16-year sentence after his conviction as a contract killer, court papers show. According to a local news report on the case, in 2016 Bodankov murdered a local real estate agent in the northern city of Kirovo-Chepetsk with a sawn-off shotgun for 400,000 rubles, $5,720. The grave marker says Bodankov died on 27 November 2022. It doesn't say where.